Hello, everybody. Welcome to this month's Mastermind. We're calling it the Masterminds of March. Where are you and where you want to go? And a lot of you know who I am. I'm just jumping out there, certified mindset success coach slash business consultant. Call me Coach Jamel. I feel like I've been traveling so much this month, but I've been traveling spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I'm really grateful and blessed and excited to have this month's mastermind with some amazing people. Actually, all three are clients of mine, but more than clients, we're like a spiritual family here. And we're going to tap in a little bit about just where we are, how we're feeling, where we're going, what we're creating, and most importantly, just providing value. So I'll just jump out there and get this conversation started. For those that don't know who you are, feel free to just introduce yourself. Your name, where you're from, and what brought you here, and also what are you excited about creating this year so far. So I'll start right here. We'll go clockwise. Andrew, feel free.
I'm Andrew Lidman, certified health, life, and recovery coach and aspiring speaker. Jamel invited me here today to be a part of this. I'm looking forward to being able to have Jamel as a mentor, and teaching me the great things that Bob Proctor mentored him on, moving forward like here soon. And, just I'm excited about the things that I've been doing. Like I've done several interviews for podcast interviews over the last 2 weeks. So a lot of things speaking about addiction recovery and my journey from that, my spiritual awakening and things like that. So, that's what I'm excited about now. And that's what my two words for this year are networking and opportunity. And I've been trying to live out those words thus far this year. And so far, so good. So I'm excited to see where it's going to lead from here moving forward.
I love it. I forgot to have sound effects. So here we go. Awesome. Let's go. So Mario, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, Jamal. So I'm Mario Orsine. I play drums and I teach drums, especially Afrobeat drumming. And I'm building an online school on that, helping drummers to master Afrobeat drumming. So that's what I'm excited about, and I'm looking forward to share more about this music. and yeah, I'm here because I love masterminds, and I'm very grateful that Jamal is creating those mastermind and inviting me also for this mastermind, because it's a good way for me to meet new people, people who are like-minded, and just to bring ideas and to connect our brains and our minds to help each other to achieve whatever we want to achieve. So thanks again, Jamel, and nice to see you, Andrew, Vanessa, and all the people who are watching. I'm really impatient to do this mastermind. Thanks.
Awesome. Let's do it. Vanessa.
My name is Vanessa. I'm currently I'm not working. I just finished this program with the VA, so right now I'm unemployed. I have a degree in accounting, and I did that for 4 years. And my goal is to start my own bookkeeping business. Um, and I'm here because this mastermind, because I like Mario, I like being around like-minded individuals, you know. I feel like when I'm around, you know, say for instance, like if I'm at a bar or around, people in that environment, it doesn't feel right to me. But when I'm around uh this type of environment, I feel like I'm at home almost. So I'm just really happy to be here, and I'm excited to meet everyone. And yeah.
Awesome. I can't have enough sound effects, to keep the energy going. So I think that I may do an applause at the very end here. So, you know, I always get excited about masterminds, and just be in powerful environments like this, because, like I mentioned off camera, Mario and I have been working together for almost a year. And Vanessa and I, it's weird. I feel like we've been working together before we're working together. And the same with Andrew. It's very interesting. I'm a very introspective person now with a very high awareness, and it's like I've been working with them before I even met them. So what's really powerful about this? It's an environment outside of your environment. And to put things into perspective, Vanessa kind of spoke on this a little bit. We create these environments in our lives unconsciously, and we create like our professional environment, the people we spend our time around, our personal or social environment, and even family. So all of these things we're creating on our own, right? And this environment is outside of everything you unconsciously created. So, and what's interesting, you kind of unconsciously created this as well, but it's your higher self. Your higher self wanted this environment, including myself. So, where you are right now is a reflection, right? Mentally and spiritually and physically, and to know where you're going, which is key, right? And there's a lot of people that don't know where they're going. So as far as masterminds are concerned, some people don't know what masterminds are. They basically are two or more people getting together for a common cause, meaning helping with any type of challenges or mindset shifts or advice, or just being outside of a limiting environment. We'll put it that way. So with all that said, I know that was an interesting introduction. I just wanted to explain a little bit what that word mastermind means. It doesn't mean it's like a Marvel superhero or a villain. It's actually something very, very powerful, that promotes growth amongst the entire group. And we're sharing it here live on the post. So anybody want to jump in, feel free to, ask a question or what I just shared there, anything to piggyback off of that. Feel free.
Yeah, Andrew. I see Andrew try to say something.
Well, I was getting ready to say something and then it left my mind, so I have to regather myself for a minute. So.
Okay. So I had an idea, because it's about Vanessa. You said you are starting your business of bookkeeping, and I was thinking of a story in Think and Grow Rich, which is on a bookkeeper who is starting a business. And I just had this in mind. So I don't know if you know that story, but it might be just inspiration for you in what you're doing. You know that book, Think and Grow Rich?
Yes, I have it here actually.
You have it. Okay. So you know the story.
You know what? I read it a while ago, so I honestly don't remember.
Sorry?
I read the book a while ago, but I honestly don't remember that story about a bookkeeper.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly the story, but basically it's I don't remember in which chapter as well, but I think it was about a guy who was working actually for a company, bookkeeping company, and he bought a truck or something like that, and he started to move to do bookkeeping for people. I think it was like in the 20s or 30s, I don't know. And he started his business like that. He just moved to a guy, then another guy, then another guy, and they are bookkeepings, just like that, and he created a big fortune out of it. And I think the main idea of this chapter and why he is giving us this example, it's because it's the idea of today. You can make more money when you help someone uh, achieve something. So
Hmm.
help someone succeed, you can make more money. I think that was it. No, I'm confusing. It's another story. It's another story. So this story just more about this guy who was just starting from scratch and just adding truck, then another truck, then other people working for him, and then he finally created. Maybe Jamal, you remember maybe better than me, but he created like a system to for people to uh, manage their bookkeeping or stuff like that, and it just grew and grew. And so yeah, maybe you want to just read that story again, and it can be inspiration for you to have ideas about your bookkeeping business.
What
It's just
happened?
the idea that came.
Where it was?
Sorry,
Did you happen to remember where it was?
if I remember what.
Which chapter it was?
Oh,
Sure.
uh, no, but I can check. I will check that later on, and I will send you on the Facebook. I
Okay.
will check that. Yeah,
Yeah, I read the book maybe like at least 3 years ago.
yeah,
So I don't remember that story.
yeah.
Huh.
That's a good story. So I will check it. I have the book there, so I will check it and tell you on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mario. I recall that story, so that's a good recollection for Vanessa. I forgot what chapter it was. I think it's desire.
Really?
Uh, I think it was desire, if I'm not mistaken. But it's funny you bring that book up. That's actually one of Vanessa's 30-day challenges coming up on Monday.
Oh,
Is to read the persistence chapter. I may do that with you, Vanessa. I may do it with you. So don't feel alone. So speaking of that, what let me ask a question for everyone here. No, what really inspired you to take a step forward into mentorship at a high level? Like what was that thing that told you, hey, I want to do this? And feel free to share, because I think a lot of people can relate to your story, or like a brief response to that. Like what made you make a committed decision?
I mean, why not now? I mean, I've played small my whole life basically. I always was somebody that was afraid to take a risk or was afraid to take a chance on doing something drastic, and that was like kind of out there somewhere else that I didn't like. I guess kind of like the C type goals that Bob Proctor talks about in his book, Jamel. Like it's a shot off in the dark. You don't know how you're going to get there, but that's where you want to go. But you don't know the way. You don't have to know the way. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of have to start. And like I was always scared of doing stuff like that because I was always worried about, what this person or what that person or what my family or whoever else was going to think, and my own limiting self and my own self limiting beliefs and stuff like that. I was guilty a lot of that for a lot of years. But when I had my spiritual awakening and stuff a couple of years back, um, I came to this realization that, over half of my life is already over. I'm going to be 42 this coming July. So, if I'm lucky, I'm at the halfway point in my life. But the life expectancy is what, like 75 years or something. So if you're going by that number, I'm already past that by several years. So why not bet on yourself? And like, it's kind of one of those, like go hard or go home, go big or go home kind of things to me, really. So I mean, why not now? I mean, the only perfect time, like you hear people talk about, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect time for this and for that, or whatever. Like the only perfect time that we have, I believe, is like right here and right now. So that's why I'm looking to do it.
Wow, such a great mindset there, Andrew. Powerful. You said a lot right there. That's amazing. Thanks for expressing that. That was spot on. Yeah. Don't be afraid. He might drop it.
Well, yeah.
Don't be afraid, Vanessa. Don't be afraid, Mario.
I wanted to just let Vanessa start and I go next, but if we do in a circle, I can go. You want to talk, Vanessa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually have a lot of reasons. Believe it or not, I have a lot of reasons. Um, I've actually The reason I bought the book, Think and Grow Rich, is because I have been like following Bob Proctor for a really long time, for several years now, and this is something that I wanted to do. I just didn't have the money for it. There was a lot of reasons, but um, I knew that I wanted to because I felt like I there's so many things that I want to do, and not just um starting my own business is one thing, but I don't want to just start my own business. I want to grow as a person. Um, I want to. I think I mentioned this before, so um, I have two boys. I have a 16-year-old boy and a 12-year-old who's going to be 13. And I want to be like a role model for them. So I want to, when this 6 months is over, I want to be like a whole new person, not just making more money. That's making more money is is important to me, but it's not as important to me as the person that it's gonna help me become. And there's no way that I could do that on my own. At least I don't think I can do that on my own. So that's why I'm doing this.
Wow. Vanessa, please don't get me crying again. Jeez. That was so powerful. Before you speak there, Mario, thank you, Vanessa, for sharing that. To grow as a person, before I lose my train of thought, in order for your business to grow, in order for you to have some type of impact in this world, a positive impact, you must develop yourself. Personal growth is essential to whatever success that you want outside of yourself. So you're filling your cup up with whatever that good essence of you basically becoming the highest version of yourself. And it's not about just making more money. I'll really explain. Money is an effect. You are the cause. Money comes because of the impact and solutions and value you give to other people. And that is the cause of an effect. And that's also the impression of increase. Vanessa shared a lot there. And I want to explain your desire to grow is the utmost importance, the priority. Everything else follows. I'd really wanted to speak on that. And also money. Oh, this is everybody, right? I don't have the money, right? For mentorship or for whatever. Never let circumstances or outside conditions dictate your decisions. And I'm talking about decisions on a deep level. Oh, I'm preparing some stuff. But basically, you don't need the money. You make a decision first. The money will come.
Yep.
And I didn't understand that when Bob kept telling me that. And for those that don't know, I'm a certified consultant of Bob Proctor with Proctor Gallagher. But it's not about me. It's about you. And the important thing is to know that you don't need money. You make a decision first. The money will come. It really will. And I made decisions without money on a insane scale, right? For my perception. And the money came because I knew what I wanted, and never let it hold you back. This is what I'm going to do. And I know the money's coming. I already made the decision. And the reason why I get so passionate about that, most people live their lives letting their outside world dictate what they decide to do.
Yes.
And they're conditioned to do that until they die. Until one day you say, hey, I'm not letting this control me anymore.
Yep.
And you have to make an uncomfortable decision. And what's on the opposite side of discomfort, everybody?
Growth. And growth, happiness, comfort.
Freedom.
Exactly.
But on a different level, really,
Exactly. Growth, happiness, freedom, fulfillment, right? And a lot of people let fear hold them back. And that dictates your decision. People make decisions based on fear. It's insane. But you have to, really look within and break through that fear. So Vanessa, thank you so much for inspiring me to share that, because I didn't have the money for a lot of things I wanted. And I made a decision even before I had the money. And look who's here, right? Look, all of us are here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're having big impacts in this world, right? We're being modest here. So sorry, Mario, I gave you a good introduction there.
Can I step in right quick before he does his, while this is on my mind and my ADHD mind forgets? There's a song that I listen to at least twice a day. But it says something, and it's about manifestation and about, creating, the world that you want to see and stuff like that. And it says, do the thing, even if your bank account laughs, even if your friends don't ask, even if your nervous system shakes because the shift ain't fake, it just takes shape after you take action. And that's like one of the most powerful lines in that whole song. And that just stood out to me when she was talking about the personal growth and wanting her business to grow and things, but not having the funds for, so many years before or whatever, and just like me and a lot of other people out there, that just came to my mind. So I just wanted to share that with everybody else out there too. So
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That song is exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the name of the song?
It's called The Universe Reflects Who You Are, and it's by Good Vibes Tribe 11, quote 11. Like I can send it to you, or I can send it to Jamel and he can share it with y'all.
Yeah.
I think I actually shared it with Jamel one time before, but yeah, it's the same song.
From
it's
who
really
you said?
solid. I love it.
Who is the band you said?
Good Vibes Tribe.
Okay.
And then like the time on the clock, 11:11.
Okay.
Andrew will share with me, Mario.
Yeah.
And I can get it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love music, because in many times when we are all facing something tough from our perception, sometimes music is so powerful to just shift and switch. And the lyrics, but as well just the vibration of the music. And because all of this, and the more I'm studying with Jamel, personal development, the mind and everything, the more information I gather in my mind, and the more obvious it became that I have to feel it. The feeling is important. So it's really important to study to understand. And I'm very grateful now that I understand more about my mind and how the universe is working. But the more I'm studying and the more I understand that this is up to me to do something, to act. And to act, I have to be, and I have to vibrate. I have to feel as though the person I want to become, as though the thing I want to have. And for many times, I listen to music, and that really helps to be in that vibration and to keep going, even though sometimes we're facing challenging and stuff like that. So Yeah, thanks, Andrew, for that song.
Mm.
And so for me, what was the question again? The question was,
Yeah. No, it's all right. That's what masterminds are about, right? It was basically what made you make a committed decision on investing in yourself at this high level with mentorship, showing up on the calls, not only investing monetarily, but, being there, your time. And, what made you make that decision? Because I know your story, Mario, but I want people to hear it because you shared, we have calls all the time, and you shared some powerful things on why and what you were seeking before this type of mentorship. Does that help?
yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great question. um, for me, I decided to start this kind of mentorship because I always had goals consciously or unconsciously in my life. And since a long time, I know that life is about evolving, growing. Like I had this, I don't know, awareness, or I just know that I need to move forward. I need to improve, I need to evolve. And I had a mentor way back, but just like that, he came into my life, and then this mentorship kind of stopped. And I understood, he made me understood a lot of things, like, but the main thing would be I have to learn something, always learning and always improving. And at that time, before I started with Jamel, I think it was actually 1 year before I started with Jamel, this mentorship, I discovered Bob Proctor. In a period I was kind of a bit lost in between so many things I wanted to do, knowing that I wasn't where I wanted to be, and being conscious that um, I did not know how to be where I wanted to be. So I really asked actually for guidance. I asked, like, for myself, like I need something to help me. I know I'm a good person. I know I have many things to achieve. I know I have dreams, I have many stuff, and life is about enjoying, is about creating, it's about stuff like that. So people are doing, enjoying, creating beautiful stuff around the world. So I knew I'm here to create, to do something. And so I was asking for that, and actually that's how it came. So first Bob Proctor, and then Jamel, and then when it came to speak about mentorship, it took me a little bit of time, but I knew I would do it. And the money was also like in my paradigm, like, yeah, I don't have the money, and actually I had the opportunity to get this money. When I was saying, yeah, I don't have the money, actually I had this money. Like
Mhm.
I figured it out. So I totally agree with the fact that money seems to be a problem, but money is not a problem. The problem is our mind, is what we believe that we can do. And life is short. We have time, but life is short. So it's maybe a contradiction, but I think it's the way, because there is no time actually. We can go fast and we can go slow. It's up to we. Uh, but the problem is always, now I know the problem is always our mind, and money is a reflection. If we want to do something, we just need to go and believe in ourselves, and believe, um, yeah, and that's why it's important to have a mentor, because when you are surrounded with people, or just having a mentor who has already done part of what you want to do to achieve, it's easier to believe, because you can just believe in him. And so you just have to, trust the process and just go on. So believing is so important. And yeah, I know we are used to take decision based on logic, which is good, but logic is determined by our paradigm. So my logic is not the same logic for another people who has maybe a bigger awareness.
Yep.
So if we relate on our logic, we first want to make sure that we have a very expanded, wide mind, wide openness, so that logic does not block you. Because if you are limited like this, logic would be, yeah, I can have maybe 100 euros and we stay like this. For another person, 100 is it's nothing. So we need to expand our awareness, and being surrounded with great people, it's part of my lesson now. Environment is so important. So it's the lesson I'm studying with Jamel. So to me now, mentorship is just, it's a must do, especially for self-development. So long answer, but I think that's why I started this mentorship, and now I'm on the road. So just keeping doing it.
Amazing. Thank you, Mario. I appreciate you sharing that. You know, it's so good to hear each of your perspectives and experiences on why you're taking that so-called leap of faith, right? And as you're sharing that, you know, for those that are watching, stop playing small, right? If you desire a bigger impact, more fulfillment, you're not happy where you are, maybe an unfulfilled job, and you feel like something in you that you're meant for more, you're looking at it right now. All of us had that feeling and still have that feeling. And playing small only keeps you small, right? I'm going to invest $500. If you want to, attract or receive $5,000 months, $10,000 months, 20,000, 50,000, $100,000 months, $300,000 months. I know people that do that and beyond. It's all based on your perception. And playing it small, you're going to remain there, and your impact, other people won't receive the essence of you, your unlimited potential that you have, that you basically kept dormant for so long. So investing in yourself is essential to receiving more and also to providing more. I didn't know that when I was playing small. And I had a paradigm, which is basically it's a multitude of habits. It's a belief system, and it's connected to your self-image. And everybody here knows that, but Vanessa will know even more how the self-image is connected to the paradigm and what you believe yourself to be. Andrew is breaking through that as well. Yep. And Mario knows that at a high degree. So when you're on the outside looking in, it's your limiting self. And it's funny, I was going over my notes today, and in our lesson that we're going over, Mario, it said that story where the guy basically allowed the outside world to shape himself. And basically, he was born until after he was 25. And that's just one example, right? Meaning that you kind of fell into your professional life. You didn't pick the job or profession that you wanted. It was just paying pretty well. You heard somebody say, yeah, it's a good job. Or you went to college because that's where your friends went. Or, basically you didn't deliberately choose what you're doing with your life. So your whole life is created unconsciously until you stop and say, wait, what's happening here?
Yep.
Right? Yep. And that's when you're born, when you start creating your life by design. Yep. So I feel like I'm coaching now. So speaking of that, anybody want to throw some questions at me? We have like 10 minutes, or any topics you want to discuss.
I was just going to go off of what you said, Jamel. Like, Bob talks about that in the Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life book, about how, he was just a terrible person. He was only earning, $4,000 a year or whatever, at first. And then he read Think and Grow Rich, and he started listening to Earl Nightingale's recordings and things. And then, he's making all this money and stuff, making millions of dollars, and he can't figure out what he did different. And he said, I'm going to figure this out. Like, what happened to where I went from making only a couple $1,000s a year. Now I'm making $1 million a year, like, and it really is like your own self-limiting beliefs. But like, oh, I lost my train of thought here. But something else that he'd said along those lines. Dadgummit. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff in that book, though, and like, yeah, once you start to see that stuff, living it from the end that he talks about, like you have, like, if you want to be a certain version of yourself, or you want to, like, if you want a certain lifestyle and things like that, you have to move and you have to act like it's already done. And I'm in the process of doing that, like right now, like with the whole recovery coaching thing and speaking and stuff like that. Is like I was telling you before we come on camera, I've done, last night was my third interview in 2 weeks for a third podcast, talking about my journey from addiction to recovery and like what life looks like now for me, and how the habit change and things like that have taken place, and my own spiritual awakening and things, and like launching my brand Dope to Hope too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking chances and I'm putting myself out there as this version of me that I wish to see. And it's starting to reflect back to me. And it's starting, and like, the more I share and the more I move and act that type of way, how I want to see myself in 5 years, 10 years down the road, the more I continue to act on that and speak like I'm already that version of me, the more that it is reflected back to me, and the more things that are attracted to me that are going to help catapult me to that version of myself. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you shared a lot there, and this is exactly what well, all of us, Vanessa, we were just talking about that on that our private call about our self-image script, right? What we're creating, who we envision ourselves to be. And Mario knows this as well. We're actually talking about inductive and deductive reasoning, and also getting clear. So it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
And a powerful thing about that story that you're talking about, how Bob basically started changing, Bob Proctor started improving his life. He was very unhappy. He was sick a lot, and he was broke, right?
Yeah.
And he went from that to multi-million-dollar a year in a short time span. The key to that, though, let me share for everybody. At one point, he was like, how did all this happen to me? Why is this happening? Right? Any average person, so-called average, would just be happy with the money. I'm doing great. My life is awesome. But that key question, why is this happening? What changed? That, basically brought us all here. But that's a question to ask yourself as well. Why am I here where I am? And also, why am I not improving? And it's a reverse question, but it's the same question, right? And that way you're learning how to use what we're talking about to create what you want, rather than just letting things happen to you, which is what most people do. And they don't realize that they have some beautiful gifts, right? And you shared a few, Andrew. You shared a few in what you were talking about. Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, just to share also about what you say, Andrew. That was the first book I read from Bob Proctor as well. Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And it really changed my life at this point.
It is
incredible. It's very simple. The writing was reading, like, I think I read it maybe 3 times or 4 times, even reading it with
number 9 or 10 now, I think.
Sorry? What you said?
I said I think I'm on like number 9 or 10 now, reading it now or whatever, because he speaks about that in the book too, about the repetition. If you study this for 60 to 90 days, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and I made that commitment to myself, and it's paying off. So yeah,
definitely. And for me was the same, like, because I'm a musician, so repetition is key for music. So when
Mhm.
I read like, yeah, you have to repeat, I say, yeah, that's great. I like to
Yeah.
repeat stuff again and again. So and that book really made me understand why, basically why I had failed in the past, because I had a failure that really like um, it in my life at this point. It was really bad. I mean, I was really lost. Something happened, and I was not feeling well, and because I failed, and I was feeling bad because I was not doing what I wanted to do. So I did not understand why, because I wanted to change. I wanted to
Yeah.
change, and I asked that to someone, to my old mentor. I say, why I can't do it properly? Why things are not going well? And he said to me, because you don't want to change.
Yeah.
And I said, I was thinking, I say, I do want to change. I want to change. Like I'm doing efforts, I'm working, not sleeping, doing, but it was not really happening. So it fell apart, and I stopped, and I was like, yeah, what's going on? Then I find this book and understood why in this book. It was because of my paradigm,
Oh,
because I was conditioned to do those things in a certain way, and if I wanted to change my result, to change my life, I had to change my paradigm. And how do we change the paradigm? With constant space repetition.
yes, sir.
So that's, so I just wanted to add something because, I really love that book too. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Mario. Yeah, that book it's so powerful, right?
Yes.
And I think that was his last book that he published before his passing, I believe. And it's
Mm.
conversational, right? It's not like study this, learn this. It's more like a conversation, but you can feel the energy in that book. I couldn't stop listening. I lost count. I would just play it every day and just listen what that man was saying. I did the audio book because I like to hear his voice, and his inflections and the energy in what he's saying. Um, so really powerful book. And that's a good introduction to kind of show you who you really are, right? And he's so relatable because he's any average person, right? He wasn't this popular speaker, he wasn't like this business experience executive. He was an average guy that just
Yeah.
wanted to learn about more of himself. And eventually that desire allowed him to help millions of people
Yeah.
and continues to after his passing. I
Yeah.
remember one of the articles that said an idea can live far beyond the physical presence of a person.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
For
So
sure.
each of us here has that ability. Everyone watching has that ability. You have a beautiful idea, but we don't act upon it and don't realize that we can impact. Look at airplanes, right, brothers? Right? I was
Yeah.
flying all over the place this month. And I
Mhm.
would not be able to do that unless they decided to break through their discomfort and the
Yeah.
opposition of the outside world, right? I always love that example. And we take it for granted. Electricity, we can go along the lines, right? Internet, etc.
Yeah.
So anyway, Vanessa, any takeaways or anything that comes to mind that we're sharing here?
Um, okay. So I just kind of want to share a story. Sorry, my bangs are keep falling in my face and really annoying. Anyways, I just want to share a story about it's something that okay, so sorry. This is I'm a very religious person, right? And I pray a lot, and I pray I've been praying for a really long time. Um to because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to make a change in my life. And a few years, I'm 41 years old right now, right? But a few years back, like when I was in my like mid 30s, like 35, um, that's really I think when everything started. And I wanted okay, so I know this sounds crazy, but I kept seeing the number 37 everywhere. And I know like sometimes, when you see something and you think about it, you kind of like look for it and then you see it more. But anyways, I kept seeing that number, right?
Which
Um,
number was it,
30
Vanessa? 37?
37.
Okay.
I kept seeing it everywhere, for a really long time. Until this day, I still see it everywhere. Um, and I didn't know what it meant, right? And then one day I was scrolling through I think it was YouTube. Because I used to spend, well, I still do, and I probably shouldn't, spend way too much time and just scrolling through YouTube shorts and Instagram and whatever. Anyways, I saw this video of I think there was some sort of protest, and this man had a sign, and it said John 3:7. And I looked it up, and here, let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna.
Hello, are we all here?
You still there, Vanessa?
I think you froze up.
Looks like you're looking for it on your phone, probably. You're still on the call. Yeah, right when we're getting to the see how the universe tries to hold you back? Right when she's getting to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Now we want to know the end of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
There
cliffhanger
she is.
now.
I can hear her.
She's teasing us.
It says, here it goes.
Okay.
We're listening.
Okay, you should not be surprised at my saying you must be born again. And okay.
You must not.
You must not be surprised at my saying you should be born again. And I was like, what do you mean born again? Like, what does that mean? I didn't get it, I didn't get what that meant. But then I thought about it, and then yeah, it's like in a way, it's like you have to like kill the old version of you and then become a new version. And to
Yes.
this, everywhere I go, I still see that 37 everywhere. And I know that, it's like when you're looking for it, you're gonna see it, your mind tends to see it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story.
No, that's an amazing story.
That's
Wow.
your voice right there. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. It's interesting. That's what personal growth is all about. You're being born again.
Yep.
Right? And being that you're seeing that for a long time in multiple places, that's just the universe, infinite intelligence, God, whatever religion telling you you're meant for more, right? And it kept speaking to you. It kept telling you, right? And then you became aware of it. And then what? You acted upon it, right? You wouldn't have attracted me unless you were ready, right?
Yep.
And everything's in divine order. So I understand that story very well. I'm 47, since everybody's saying their age. I waited a while until I was so conditioned.
Yeah.
Right? I was so conditioned to my lower self not speaking freely about this type of material, not really investing in myself. I thought personal growth or personal development was fake. I had like this limiting thing, like, what is that? I can read a book and be better.
Yeah.
It's not just in the intellectual. Like, we can know all this knowledge mentally, logically, but when you live it through experience, it's a totally different thing. And when you experience it on a subconscious level, right?
Yeah.
And Vanessa shared she's shifting already in 2 weeks, like things that she was interested in doing, habits. She's no longer interested in that, right? And time is our most valuable asset. Mario talked about that as well. He said life is short, and we have time, but it's interesting, right? Time is actually an illusion. The time is now, and Andrew knows that as well, because there's no greater time than now, and now will always define your future. And I finally realized that, as I was taking time for granted. And as you become more seasoned and aware, you'll see that this moment is very, very powerful. The present is a present. And if you're not utilizing it at your highest degree on all three levels of your being, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice and creating a future you don't want. So this has been an amazing mastermind. I can talk all day with all of you, as you probably already know. And very briefly, obviously you see on the screen, if anything motivated you on this call or this session, just reach out to me. Everybody here knows that I give my all, and I want the best for every person that makes a committed decision to their higher self and stop playing games and playing small, right? We're big. We're meant to achieve whatever we want. And on the opposite side of that discomfort is the freedom you're seeking. And I'm here to guide you to that 100 million%, because I get a lot of fulfillment when I see people grow and I'm able to see them change their results with what I'm sharing and how I guide. So lastly, any last words that you'd like to share with anyone while we're here on this Masterminds of March? Any brief last words for anybody? Anything that's on your heart, feel free.
Yes. For me, just wanted to add that, as Jamal said, self-development is so important. The more I am studying myself and the more I really believe, and it's just the truth. And just wanted to share that, being mentored by Jamal for, I think, almost 8 months or 9 months, something like that. Like, this is so valuable. So I want to, thank him on camera. And if you want to start doing mentorship with Jamal, I can totally say that this is so valuable. Is really dedicated to help, every call, every week, every the passion he gives when he teaches, and when he gives takeaways or his perception of Bob Proctor's material. This is so valuable, and yes, this is really, really helping me. So just if you hesitate starting mentorship, and especially with Jamel, it's like you won't be you would love it, and it's really a game changer. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Mario. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go next. So, I mean, I just want to say that, like, I'm really grateful that I've done this, because so the person that I was, like, I don't know, 2 years back, I was just miserable. I was I thought the world was against me. I thought, literally, I would go say this grocery store, and I always thought everybody was rude. I thought everybody was, I thought everybody hated me. I thought it was just terrible. Believe it or not, it was really bad, and Jamal, you mentioned that, in those 2 weeks, I've already seen like a huge shift. I've been reading this. I read the book, the Think and Grow Rich, and I've read other books, and I've been, trying to work on myself and trying to change my perspective and trying to uh understand that, sometimes, not to take things personal, and um I'm doing a lot better than I did, 2 years back or whatever. And I just okay, so in the 2 weeks that I've been doing this, I've already seen like one thing that I've seen is okay, so the first week I had uh I had broken my arm. I had broken my wrist, and I had surgery. And that first week of surgery, I was like, I had very low energy. I was tired all the time, and I was still like, I still had like a little bit of pain in my arm. And so I was just that I wasn't working, so I was just literally at home just watching one of my favorite shows is that 70 show. And I've seen that like hundreds of times, right? But I would for like 4 hours straight just watching reruns of that show. And even though like I've seen it hundreds of times, but it was the very next week, um, I felt like a million times better. And then I was like, I still watch it, but I'll probably watch like one episode a day. And I have no desire to spend all of that time watch, because it's like this isn't helping me in any way. It's just wasting my time. Time is the most precious you have, that you could be doing so much more. So that, and then I also like watch a lot of YouTube. There's a Mr. I'm like a huge fan of Mr. Ballin, and he likes to do like murder mysteries and stuff, and I was really big on that. Like I was talking about, like every time he would drop a new video, I would watch it. And now I don't think I even watch any of his videos, and that's just in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's all I have.
No, that's great. You're aware of the shifts that you're having just in 2 weeks, which is amazing. And staying on this frequency path of growth, imagine 2 more weeks, right? You'll just continue this momentum. So I'm so excited for you. Do not let your limiting self try to hold you back ever again. All right. And you and I are working together against that limiting self. It's you and me against the old Vanessa. All right.
Right.
So we're moving forward. And that's why you're here today. This is your higher self. I love it. I love it.
Going with what everybody else has said, like this material, I mean, and like I say, and we have in the recovery community, it works if you work it. Like, and that's really the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you apply these principles and you do these things in your life, I guarantee, like I can speak for myself because I know I've seen it because I'm living it right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it works. Like the whole visualizing thing, like I was talking about earlier about, speaking, like working from the end or whatever, like doing the visualization exercises where you talk about, I'm so grateful and happy now that da 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 da, like, and I do that like on my daily walks and like, in the afternoons and stuff, like I speak that stuff out before I go to bed, and I'm practicing the attitude of gratitude things and giving thanks for all the things I have. I'm saying thank you, and I'm happy and grateful for these, and I'm speaking like it's already happening, and it's starting to, what I'm saying, the ball is slowly starting to roll, like, and going to what Vanessa said earlier about, the rebirth and stuff, that it really is like, it's like you have this life, like Jamel was talking about, we've all three talked about today, where, we just kind of blindly stumble through our lives for all these years until we finally hit that wake up point. And once you become self-aware, it's like a game changer, because, and Bob talks about it in his book too, in one of the first couple chapters, Change Your Paradigm book. He talks about, if you spend the first 3 or 4 hours of your morning, like actually paying attention to your patterns and the things that you do, you're going to be like, what am I even doing this for? Like the TV show you were just talking about, like, it's a lot of stuff starts to add up. Well, no wonder my life is this way, like, what can I do to change it? And it's just really, really powerful stuff. And like, I'm glad to have attracted Jamel into my, through the Be Awesome network, and things like that, and I'm eager and I'm excited to get this journey started for myself. So yeah, anybody else that's out there, like that, if you've never heard of Bob Proctor before, whatever, like, look into that, because that stuff is the real deal. Like, study the laws of the universe, because that stuff is real. If you start to learn those things, use them to your advantage, like, and it's going to pay off for sure.
Yeah, appreciate that, Andrew. Amazing. Awesome. Amazing. What I'll share. Wow, that's a long applause. What I'll share lastly is, don't get lost in just reading and watching videos and stuff. That's all surface, right? That's a beginning of something, right? Mm-hmm. You're getting an understanding to who you really are. Nothing changes until you make a committed decision. You sign your name on a dotted line, you invest in yourself, and then you're on the other side of shifting everything in your life. It really happens that way. And this has been amazing call. Right. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. You have to choose. And you can choose to remain where you are, or choose to move forward to what you really want. And don't let your limiting self kind of, stop you from imagining the life you really want. Some people can't even imagine it anymore because they haven't used their imagination in a long time in an effective way, right? A lot of people use it ineffectively, thinking about things they don't want. Focus on what you want all day, every day. And that's what Bob talks about. You need to pray without ceasing. Prayer is not asking. Oh, I don't see. I'm already coaching. We're not going to go down that line. A lot of people think prayer is asking. When you ask for something, you're defining that you do not have it, right? I had to really rethink a lot of these things, and to really understand it and apply it. Application, right? Without application, there's no change. There's no change. You'll just have all this logic all stuck in your head, and nothing's changing. That's frustration. Trust me, I've been there, right? So, but anyway, this has been an amazing mastermind. Masterminds of March. And I said I would do one more applause at the very end. Thank you all for being here and shining your light and expressing, your story and being open to these masterminds. I'll be happy to have you next month as well, as we'll be totally different spiritual and physical beings as well, mentally as well. And it's always a pleasure having you. So bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jamel.
Absolutely. And stay on here as I end. We can chat a little bit. And again, those that want to see if I can help you with this, my call link is in the description or comments of this post. Bye, everybody.